Oh no, what happened? The Grand Wagoneer, she's not running. So I'm gonna get to that in just a minute. I'll give you guys a little bit of update. You may have seen yesterday that I posted that we have a date. We have an exciting piece of news here. We have a date for the 2025 Myrtle Beach Jeep Jam, and we are going to announce it for you guys next Wednesday, December 18th. So tune in on December 18th, and we will give you that date. It has been approved, and we have finalized it, and so we're ready to make that announcement. So next week, on December 18th, we will announce the date for the Myrtle Beach Jeep Jam. So one thing, new initiative I'm working on this year is we have a lot of Wranglers, we have a lot of Gladiators that come to the Jeep Jam, and we love to see you guys out there, and we love to see you on the obstacle course, and we love to see all the beautiful things that you guys bring out there. But we'd like to grow the community a little bit more if we could. Jeep has had a long storied history. You got your Willys, you got your Grand Wagoneers, your full-size Jeeps, you got your CJs, and things like that. So as part of that initiative, I decided to kind of buy a full-size Jeep, if you remember. So I bought two of them, actually, if you remember. I bought a Cherokee Chief, a 1978 Cherokee Chief, and I have good news to report on that. It's actually been sold, so that is gone. And the gentleman that bought that is actually going to work on restoring it, and he normally goes to Run to the Sun, and he's going to probably take it to Run to the Sun maybe 2026, maybe. But his intention is to work on it, and I invited him to bring it back and show it to us at the Jeep Jam this year. So hopefully in the fall, if everything works out as planned, you'll be able to see that Cherokee Chief that he's been working on. So I sold it to him last night, and he's going to work on it. Hopefully he'll bring it back. But that allows me to focus on the Grand Wagoneer. So if you remember correctly, this is the 89. It's a full-size Jeep. It is an 89 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. And so last time I posted an update, we were working on a fuel injection update on this, and if you remember, a new distributor and the fuel pump and everything. So I am happy to report that that went fairly well. We were able to start up the vehicle, and it ran pretty good. We got a little bit of a timing issue once we got that fixed. It ran pretty strong, ran pretty well. We just took it on a quick little test drive here around the neighborhood. I'm here at my brother's house working on it. And unfortunately, we went to do an oil change and coolant flush, and flush the system, all the gunk out of it, and change the fluids. And we discovered we had a problem. So the major problem that we had, and you guys may have encountered this before, is we were mixing coolant and oil. So there's a couple different ways that could happen. We don't know exactly. We think it may have had a head gasket issue. When I got it, there were some symptoms that were kind of, early symptoms of head gasket, and the problem became worse. We also think the intake manifold that we installed, which I talked about last time, or two videos ago maybe, we had some issues with installing that. So basically what happened is as anything you look up on the internet, there's a couple of different ways to do it. We had conflicting instructions from the gasket manufacturer and the manifold itself. And so we had some issues. We had some questions when we were installing it, and apparently it didn't work right. So that's long story short. So we had coolant mixing with oil. It was a problem. So luckily for me, my brother, who has not done a head gasket before, decided that he would help me out and work on that. So I've been traveling the last week or so. Went to visit some family, but he actually was here working on it. So that is why this is the part again. So if you look here, he did the work on the heads, replaced the head gasket. If you're not aware, a gasket is basically what goes in between two of the metal parts on the engine, keeps everything sealed tight. So in the engine and the intake manifold here and everything, we have essentially three things are mixed together. We have or I should say, they should not be mixed together, but they were on our engine. You have the oil, you have the coolant to cool things down, and then you have air. You have a vacuum basically created. And so you want to create you also have fuel is kind of going in there in the carburetor. So you basically want to keep all those things separate, and that's what the gaskets are there essentially, to keep all the pieces separate. So if you have an issue with the gasket itself, or with there's different sealants and stuff that you can get. Different manufacturers recommend different things. There's different types of gaskets. There's different type of silicone-based or other products that seal these things. So there's kind of different schools of thought on how to do this. But anyways, if you have an issue with that and the seal's not good, then you can and there's a lot of pressure that kind of goes through there. You can have issues with mixing of the oil and the coolant, or you can get oil leaking into your through your PCV valve, stuff like that. So we had some issues with that. So my brother's been working on that, and I am here today to kind of help him work on a little bit more. So we're hoping, he says everything's been going pretty well on that. You can see he's got the wiring is kind of all strewn about here. He's working on helping to get rid of some of the wiring we don't need anymore, replace some of it, get rid of some of this old stuff. So You can see the alternator's out, so we actually have a different new alternator to put on there for that. So, yeah, so we're working on that. So, but he's feeling pretty confident about it. We have a lot of new parts to put in this thing. So hopefully another week or so, he's planning on bringing it, actually driving up to Myrtle Beach for me and delivering it next weekend. So hopefully this will all be back together then, and you'll be, yeah, on the road. So we'll post more updates. If you have not seen it yet on the website, I have added a build page for this Grand Wagoneer. So you can see here. So you can go on there and you can see the content, and we'll have photos and videos on there. And we'll have a lot more videos and content coming. I've talked to a couple sponsors. We have a couple lined up already, and I'm talking to a few more. And we have some design choices to make soon. As you can see right now, we have the front grille off. And if you've not seen one of these before, they had a variety. Basically, they kept the same body style for about 30 years. And they just kind of changed up some of the styling on it. You know, the chrome and the grille and stuff. So there is an option here. This is actually, the grille's currently off. And if you look, it's basically returned to an old kind of 60s style rather than the late 80s style grille that was on it when I got it. So that is an option I'm considering, maybe going back to that old classic style grill there. So I have some design ideas, some design choices. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post up some visuals of those so you guys can see some of my renderings, kind of what it might look like. So we're going to post some options up for you guys to help me decide. So anyways, that's the update on the Grand Wagoneer. And like I mentioned at the beginning, we have our big announcement coming up next Wednesday for the Myrtle Beach Jeep Jam, the dates for 2025. So we'll be announcing those next week. And if all goes as planned, you'll be able to see this finished build and the Cherokee Chief, at least the status of that restoration, at the Myrtle Beach Jeep Jam next year. We'll have both of them there, hopefully, for you guys to see. And hopefully I've now kind of joined a community of full-size Jeepers and other classic Jeeps. So I'm hoping to get more of those out at the show next year as well to join us. So look forward to that, hopefully, next year. So thanks, guys. Check out the website for more details, and I will have more coming. Thank you.